Hello, Relatively Prime listeners. It's Samuel. As you may already know, I got knocked out in the first round of the Aperiodical's big internet math-off. But due to the way my schedule looks and the way that the math-off was structured, I actually already made all the pieces I would have needed if I had made it all the way to the final. So instead of just letting those sit around gathering dust, I am going to release them so that at least y'all get to hear them. And I will release them on the days that I would have been competing if I had made it through. So here is the one that I would have used in my second round match if I had made it. And even though I didn't make it, y'all should still head on over to the aperiodical.com and vote in this round, which I do believe is Paul Taylor versus former guest on multiple episodes of Relatively Prime, Edmund Harris. So please go vote, take part. It's a really cool thing that the Aperiodical has been putting on, and enjoy what would, I'm sure, have been a winning second round piece.
Oh, you're too kind. Too kind. Thanks so much. And thank you for voting me into the second round of the big internet math-off. It is truly an honor to have moved one step closer to officially becoming the world's most interesting mathematician. For the second round, I'm bringing to you the only story I know of where graffiti changed the course of the mathematical world. But before we get into it, I have to apologize to Lin-Manuel Miranda for what I'm about to do. How does a sensitive Irish son of a Sarah and an Archibald, dropped in the middle of a dark clear spot outside of Dublin, then walking under a sandstone span in Cabra, scratch out a radical new set of numbers? The 4D mathematician and royal astronomer got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter by 13. He spoke Hebrew, Hindi, and Deutschlander, and every day while math was being dulled and locked in a maze, he was breaking arithmetic, so he kept his guard up. Inside, new numbers were beginning to be thought of, commutativity be damned and not a martyr. Then Canal Walk came and inspiration reigned. Our man saw his future, it was all I-J and K. He graffitied Broom Bridge equations straight from his brain. Destiny became clear, number systems unconstrained. Well, the word got around, they said, Rowan is insane, man. Read his publication, my brain's all stuck up in his quicksand. Numbers of 4 dimensions, even more than was his aim. And the world's gonna know your name. What's your name, man? William Rowan Hamilton. My name is William Rowan Hamilton. And there's a million theorems I haven't proved. But just you wait, just you wait.
He was called the liberator of algebra because he liberated algebra from arithmetic. Mathematicians were stunned at his audacity. It opened up a whole new landscape of mathematics where mathematicians now could feel free to create all sorts of new structures.
That was Fiacha O'Cabra, the organizer of a walk to honor this liberator. All because on October 16th, 1843, William Rowan Hamilton, but actually, I will let Hamilton's letter to their son tell the story.
Although your mother talked with me now and then, yet an undercurrent of thought was going on in my mind, which gave at last a result whereof it is not too much to say that I felt at once an importance. An electric current seemed to close, and a spark flashed forth, the herald, as I foresaw immediately, of many long years to come of definitely directed thought and work. Nor could I resist the impulse, unphilosophical as it may have been, to cut with a knife on a stone of Broom Bridge, as we passed it, the fundamental formula.
The equation Hamilton graffitied onto Broom Bridge was I squared equals J squared equals K squared equals IJK equals -1, which defined a new 4-dimensional number system called the Quaternions. The Quaternions were groundbreaking for many reasons, but not least of which because up until then,
it was a convention that mathematicians had which said if you wanted to create a useful system of new numbers, It had to satisfy the laws of arithmetic.
Which the Quaternions definitely did not do, as they are not commutative. Quaternion A times Quaternion B does not necessarily equal B times A. But then again, commutativity often doesn't work in the real world either.
I don't recommend you do this, but if you take an empty swimming pool, take the two operations of filling it up with water or diving in head first. If you reverse the operations, you get slightly different results, I think.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. That would be bad. Back to Quaternions. As if liberating algebra from its arithmetical chains was not enough, it turns out the Quaternions are actually quite applicable in the world, nay, in the universe. Just ask Buzz Aldrin, who had this response upon seeing a bust of Hamilton at Trinity College.
He lit up and he said, basically, we would not have gone to the moon if it wasn't for that guy.
This is because Quaternions provide a solution for a problem called gimbal lock, where a degree of freedom is lost in three-dimensional rotation systems, like those that are used in spaceflight, video games, and 3D animation. And while it isn't really possible to be cooler than having helped spaceflight, Hamilton and the Quaternions have had one other huge impact, and that is on the neighborhood of Cabra, where Broom Bridge still provides a path over the canal. For the past 28 years, mathematical devotees have been retracing the walk from Dunsink Observatory, where Hamilton worked, to Broom Bridge on October 16th to honor the creation of Quaternions. And the local community has really got behind this celebration. They put up banners and provide refreshments to all the walk's participants. Their new rail stop is going to bear Hamilton's name. Back in 2015, PRX's STEM Story Project sent me to Dublin to cover the 25th edition of the Hamilton Walk. Here are what some of my fellow attendees had to say about Hamilton.
Pretty safe to say he was the greatest mathematician in the history of Ireland.
A man of great learning.
It's just, he's a very famous Irishman, scientist, mathematician, and he was a genius up there with Leonardo da Vinci, so we're really coming out to honour one of our own.
It is so rare to see something about mathematics being celebrated. That's what really makes the Hamilton Walk to Broom Bridge unique. You get to take this beautiful walk along a canal in Dublin among hundreds of people, all there to celebrate a mathematical achievement. I have never been a part of anything like it. Now, just as I started this story with a song, so I will end it, but this time by a much more talented singer, my friend Jess Charlton. Jess will be singing Ballad of Rowan Hamilton, written by Cabra resident Jack Gannon.
Hi-ho, Hamilton Rowan, he saved the Irish nation. No twos or threes, it had to be Quaternion equations. Above the snow line at Dunsink, he made his observations, and then one day on Broombridge stone, he carved a great sensation. Hi-ho, Hamilton Rowan, he saved the Irish nation. No twos or threes, it had to be Quaternion equations. Many were the grateful ones, they thought it was a pity that Onshijits and the rest were foremost in the city. Hi-ho, Hamilton Rowan, he saved the Irish nation. twos or threes, it had to be Quaternion equations. I squared equals J squared equals K squared equals IJK. This all equals -1, Rowan Hamilton was heard to say. Hi-ho, Hamilton rode, he saved the Irish nation. No twos or threes, it had to be Quaternion equations. So praise the gallant scientists who favor rhyme and reason. At Broombridge you can see it there. It always is in season.
That is all the time we have for this second round match of the Big Internet Math-Off. If you want to find out more about Quaternions or about the music and effects used in this match, you can check out the links under the player on the Aperiodical or on relprime.com. You can also listen to the piece that Samuel produced for the PRX STEM Story Project, 3 Letters Met, on Broombridge. You can find that over at prx.org. Thank you so much for your votes, and if you still aren't sure that you want those votes to be for Samuel, just know that if you don't vote for them, you will never find out just how the bizarreness of Elbridge's salamander might help sort out the problems in American politics. So vote now, vote often, and of course, have a math-horrific week.